There always seems to be a summer drought.
Let's talk about it. I had a little New York. It's funny too because the first watch.
Why? Hello and welcome to Triangle Squared episode 9. I am your host Brett, and alongside me, my co-host and esteemed friend, Saul Bridges.
What's up?
Saul, can you believe we've almost done 10 of these?
10 weeks, almost gone by.
And it seems like we've done 20, but it also seems like we just started yesterday. So somewhere in between.
It's like that long day at work. You're like, did I work 12 hours today? Yeah, I feel it, but...
You know when you're driving? And you're kind of like, I went through that area, but I don't remember going through that area. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Really been doing this for this long?
Yeah. So, anyway, Triangle Squared posts every Monday at 12 p.m. CST and 10 a.m. PST. We are available on YouTube in video form or audio format only on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music. Saul.
Them surprises, though.
We got to get into some house cleaning here.
What is this?
So, for users who are just joining us for the first episode or maybe skipped around a couple episodes, last week at the end of the episode, I teased Saul about something and teased y'all as well about some surprises that Saul still has yet to learn about.
I still do not know.
Because I keep that boy in the dark. Anyway, Saul, I wanted to go ahead and get this started, and I think you're going to like it.
Okay.
So, close your eyes. I'm serious. Close your eyes.
Okay, I don't like this at all. I feel something on me. I feel this not work. It's the mic.
Alright. Open your eyes.
Boy! We got Triangle Square cups.
Okay. So, the whole point of this is to commemorate 10 episodes, and I know this is technically early, but there's a reason I'm giving it to you now instead of on episode 10.
So I can pay for it tonight.
No, that's a gift.
Thank you.
So, super cool, etched out, black cup, they're etched in, really nice, super cool. So, what I wanted to do, and this is all without Saul's knowledge, but what I wanted to do, to commemorate 10 episodes, and the people who have already listened to us, and who have been sharing us, and just people who've taken their time to subscribe, and it doesn't seem like a big barrier to break or a big milestone, but we broke 1,000 YouTube views a while back. 1,000 combined YouTube views and audio listens. It's been actually a couple episodes ago. We're nearing 2,000 right now. We got 46 subscribers right now. Again, these are small milestones, but we definitely appreciate y'all who take the time out. So what I want to do is we actually have a third one of these that I want to do a giveaway for. And we're going to announce the giveaway next week on the 10th episode so that it's all in commemoration of the 10th episode. And along with the cup is a sealed copy of Nier Automata.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So, and when I was deciding what game I wanted to give away, I almost chose Horizon. But I feel like a lot of people have played Horizon.
Is this the...
And I feel like...
Okay, yeah,
I feel like a lot of people maybe have looked at Nier and heard good things about it, but maybe not have dipped in just yet. So I wanted it to be sealed. Hopefully whoever wins it hasn't played it. If they have, you get a cup in a game, and hey, you can do what you want to with the game. I don't care. This is really just to show our appreciation. So what we're going to do is in the link to this video, and we're also going to break this out and go ahead and post it to Twitter as soon as we're done here.
Makes sense.
It's in the link. The link to the giveaway is going to be in the description of this video, and it's also we're going to post it to our Twitter, and I'm trying to figure out if it's worth. I think it's how I want to do it. Go ahead and upload it to the SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So that the audio listeners get the early start, because next week I'm actually going to be going on vacation Friday and be leaving, so we're going to have to record Thursday. So we're going to give from today, as soon as we post this video, until next Wednesday, for people to enter and share. And there's a bunch of different ways. If you're subscribed to the channel, you enter to win. That's one way. And if you follow us on SoundCloud, that's a way. If you share us with your friends, that's a way. We have a Twitch channel, and if you follow it, we're going to start doing stuff on that. So definitely go check that out, and hopefully, good luck to whoever gets to win it.
Yeah, oh yeah, especially for that great game.
I love this game, and I thought that was a really cool.
These are basically, I know these are like our brand. Well, I say our brand, like Arkansas brand, right? Because that's Ozark.
I don't really know. They're a Walmart brand, but they literally act the exact same as Yeti.
So yeah,
and I think they look better.
I've never had one of these before, so I actually almost bought one of these the other day. So I'm actually really glad I didn't.
Hey.
We talked about it, and I'm like, you know what, we may do that.
Well, there you go, Saul. Thank you for being my co-host all these days.
Thank you for hosting me.
Okay, so another thing I want to go ahead and announce is that as long as we can get everything up and running, and we're doing technical tests on that right now, as long as we can get everything up and running, we're going to do an E3 watch along on our Twitch channel. And there's more to talk about with the Twitch channel, but I'm going to wait till next episode until we have a little more in stone. But the plan is to do an E3 watch-along day of the Sony press conference. We're not going to do one for any of the other ones. We're just going to do a triangle squared watch-along. So as long as everything goes good, we'll have actual details of, ironing out that we're for sure going to do it next episode. But not to hold y'all any longer. We're just going to do y'all's little look at that. We're going to show y'all right there. That's what you can win.
And to let you guys know as well, next week instead of the drop, since we're going to be recording on Thursday, the drop doesn't happen until Friday. I have a little segment plan that I think is going to be pretty fun that will take the time that the drop would, and it'll be a little more personal.
Well, there you go. You can surprise me too.
There we go. So next week we won't have the drop, unfortunately, and this week it's a little light like it was last week because of their E3. But I haven't seen you. We talked a little bit. What have you been doing this week? What have you been playing?
Okay, what I've been doing is a lot of shit. Kyrie's birthday's party is tomorrow. I don't know, you got to work, but her birthday party tomorrow, so we've been planning for that. But on top of that, me and Donovan, he went back to Alabama, Greenbow, Alabama.
Yeah, I forgot he came from there.
He did not Greenbow.
No, I'm talking about Alabama.
Yeah, he's not Forrest Gump, sadly.
Right.
But he went back to Alabama, so we have been playing Diablo and are in the 5th act. So we're about to beat that. I'm imagining by the end of the weekend we're going to do that. I've finally played the Surge, and dude, you're going to like it.
Am I? Ooh.
You like Lords of the Fallen, but there's new things they've included in this one.
I might pick that up tonight when we're out. If we go to the
mall,
cool. I might pick that up.
I don't want to spend too long on it, but one of the mechanics I really like is that there's...
you can select the body armor you want to take?
Yes. I didn't know if you've been looking into it.
No, I saw a review, and I think...
And you don't take the armor specifically. What you do is it breaks it, and you pick up the broken piece, and you get the schematic.
And then you
if you get enough of the broken ones together, you can fix it.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is you level... proficiency of your weapons separately from your rig. Your rig is what you actually spend your tech scrap on, which is basically like your souls or your experience.
Yeah.
And the way it ends up going is like every time you kill something, you get tech souls. And you remember the mechanic from Lords of the Fallen where if
you could deposit,
where you could deposit, but if you chose to carry more of it around,
you get that EXP bonus.
It gave you a multiplier as you continue to hold it. That's still there.
Good.
But now you're upgrading your rig instead of yourself, and your rig has got for you to put a piece of armor on, it has a power requirement, and your rig has got an overall power, and you fill it up. So you have to level so much to start wearing. I chose Goliath class, so my pieces use more power.
Yeah, they're probably big.
So I'm using some light because I can't wear all big yet.
Makes sense. Yeah, so it's kind of
and early enemies are light, but the game's really interesting. So if you like Dark Souls or anything like that, or if you played Lords of the Fallen, it's made by some of the same people that made Lords of the Fallen, because Lords of the Fallen was a collaboration between Deck 13 and I can't remember the other one off the top of my head right now.
I want to say Neversoft, but I know it's not Neversoft because
it's not Neversoft.
So anyway,
that's about it. I haven't played too terribly else much. I still didn't get a chance to play Farpoint. It just hasn't been convenient for me to hop into it.
It takes a while to hop into VR and kind of 20 or 30 minutes to kind of
but not spend too terribly long. What have you been doing playing this week?
Been really, really busy this week, just work stuff and kind of relaxing when I don't have work stuff, which is why I've been using the Switch a little bit more lately. I've been playing Zelda. I got to the last boss, so that's pretty good. I'm probably going to beat that this weekend. Played a little bit more of Overwatch and have been really enjoying that. So
I saw you back on Destiny.
That was something I did forget about that. So I saw that we were missing. I was missing like 4 trophies.
Dude, no. As soon as we get through Diablo, before we hop into a seasonal character, me and Donovan were gonna hop back in and work towards my platinum.
Well, I saw that I was missing Relic Hunter. You had to go through play salvage or whatever. You can do that by yourself now. You can.
I've already done it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I was gonna say you can boost the matches.
I only have 4 trophies left.
Well, I was gonna say I finished up my Titan.
I did salvage because me and Dylan did 1-on-1 private match.
See,
and he just let me kill him.
I just did a private match by myself and just captured all the points, and then I'd exit out and go back in and do all that, because that game type comes around like once every month.
Yeah, it's weird.
So.
But anyway, so I got that trophy already.
But I finished leveling up my Titan, which means I bought the Titan.
Okay.
So I spent the $40 because I don't really play Titans that much.
I'm going to be fair.
So,
that's how I'm gonna get that trophy. Fuck that. And not to the Titan. I play Titan. I don't feel like doing it with. I'm pretty sure Warlock is what I have left over.
Yeah,
I have a Hunter,
and that's my main
as a sub.
So I finished up my Hunter just the other day. My Hunter, I leveled out fully Night Stalker, which is the Void class, and I didn't realize that doesn't contribute because it's the Taken King class. So I had to go back and level up one of the very first subclasses, and I was closest on the Nighthawk, or whatever it's called, the Golden Gun class. And
is that Sunslinger or whatever?
That's Sunslinger's Warlock. That's the Solar class for Warlock.
Oh, okay, and you're talking about Hunter.
Yeah, and I was trying to think of, I can't remember, I think it's called Celestial.
Whatever's got the gun game, the Golden Gun thing.
Yeah,
right?
And so that was grindy. That was the most I've grinded in that game since before they released the light levels and stuff, because you have to do bounties to increase your level quickly. So, but
I don't want to spend too long on that.
No,
so
that was last for me. I was gonna say, Breath of the Wild, Destiny, Overwatch.
I didn't want to spend too long because it's a big week for news.
It is. Do you want me to get the drop out of the way real quick since it's so small and there's no descriptions?
Go ahead. Yeah,
sure.
Go ahead.
So, as you guys all know, if I don't release the day, it is coming out on the Tuesday following the podcast. And following tradition,
I'm pretty sure at this point we can just stop saying that. We can drop.
Yeah, I know, but new people, they're gonna be like, "Why is he saying
but
these
you're just
stuff?" And I gotta check the calendar.
You're a little hung up on it. I know.
The second is a Friday. Okay, so
yeah, the second's Friday.
We have two actual Neo Geo games. The first one is Metal Slug 2 coming out digitally for on Thursday.
People love that game.
And Metal Slug 2. I don't think I've ever played it. We have another one that's The Last Blade. They're both PS4 digital titles. Metal Slug 2 comes out Thursday, and then The Last Blade comes out Friday. We have Bricks, which is a PS4 digital title, out Thursday. We have Crossout, which is a PS4 digital title. We have Damascus Gear Tokyo Battle HD Collection. Edition.
If I'm not mistaken, that's supposed to be a Vita title that they redid, and it's like a mech game.
Oh, yeah. I miss mech games.
Yeah.
The 31st, that's a Wednesday. So, yeah, that's a Wednesday title. We got Danger Zone, a PS4 digital title.
Danger Zone!
We got Energy Balance, a PS4 digital title, out Friday. We got Ignimatus 2, The Mist of Ravenwood, PS4 digital title. Lock's Quest.
This is actually kind of cool.
Is that the one you were talking about earlier?
Lock's Quest is the one that was, I thought me and you talked about this once. It's a DS game that THQ is bringing over to PS4, Xbox One, PC. So what it is it's a tower defense game that also has real-time strategy elements, that also has RPG elements, that also has real-time battle.
We did talk about that.
It's really, dude, it's kind of crazy. It was like a 2008 or 2009 DS game, and they're finally bringing it over.
Crazy.
Maybe it was 2007. I don't know. It's been a long time.
That's a PS4 digital.
So THQ Nordic's bringing it over. They're the people. They got the right. It was originally a THQ game. So yeah, they're bringing it over. It's like it's pixel art style game.
I like those games. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite art styles. We have the Insult Simulator, PS4 digital title. Paddle versus Paddle, a PS4 digital title.
I need to see what the Insult Simulator is.
That is interesting. The name of it is what gets me. We got Polarity Ultimate Edition for PS4 digital. We got Shu, a PS Vita digital title.
Now, do you think that game's about Shu Sidman of PlayStation, or do you think it's about Yoshida of PlayStation?
It's Shuhai's life story
in a Vita game. How appropriate,
right? We got Star Trek Bridge Crew for PSVR, and that's digital and retail. We got, of course, the big title this week. We have Tekken 7, PS4 digital and retail title, out that Friday. We have Thea, The Awakening, PS4 digital title, out this Wednesday.
And East Origin,
a PS Vita game. A great it's actually not a PS Vita.
It's series. A remake. The game originally came out, I think, on PC. The game looks great. These games have been on PSP. They've been doing those for PSP and Vita forever.
And they're great games.
Yeah, they're super good.
So I'd recommend those games. And this week, not a whole lot.
I don't really care that much for Tekken 7, and I'm not a big Star Trek fan, so VR, that's probably something I'm going to skip over. I want to look into. I'll probably get Lock's Quest. That
does sound interesting.
It sounds really good. I want to show you it because the gameplay's crazy. But who knows? Other than that, I will most likely pick up East Origin because it got delayed for Vita. It came out like in February for PS4. So and I held off specifically. And I think Limited Run is supposed to be doing, for those who like that. I don't know if it's already sold out, but Limited Run was going to do physical.
They
releases.
just did something today.
Another one? Well, there's some of it's on the news, so
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and hop over into the news.
Yeah, because that was a very short
All right, well,
drop.
the first thing that I saw the other week, and I went ahead and just left it as the first thing on the list, is that multiplayer first-person shooter Lawbreakers, the new game by Gears of War's creator Cliff Bleszinski, will be releasing for PS4 at the same time as PC, but no release date has been given yet. The title will be digital only with a price tag of $29.99 and will run at 60 frames per second on PS4 and the Pro. The game will also see Pro enhancements, though he didn't really go into what. And it was made clear that there will not be any crossplay between PC and PS4, probably because of frame rate and the additional smoothness. So, still cool to see though, because at first it was a big deal. I remember there was interviews where he was talking about not bringing it to consoles because they couldn't handle it. So the fact that they were able to get it to run at 60 frames per second on PS4 and the Pro, obviously the Pro would have it easier.
It looks like a fun game, and for $30, that's not bad.
Well, and it's like an Overwatch style game, but much more challenging and a little more character driven in a different sense,
and a little more Unreal Tournament kind of looking.
Yeah, and I still want Unreal Tournament 3. If it came over to PS4 and like with online sweetback, oh man,
boy,
lose my life. All right, so next thing up, and this is actually, dude, super stoked on, and the news kind of shifted throughout the week, but today we got the official trailer. Far Cry 5 has officially been announced. A trailer showing in-game footage reveals that the game takes place in Hope County, Montana, and features a religious cult as the main group of antagonists, with their head, Father Joseph, delivering an unsettling monologue over the footage. It's really creepy. I don't know. I liked it because it was like, loved it. Like, you know that really calming voice, but they're saying shit that's obviously like monstrous. Really anyway, so from the looks of it, the game looks to follow the specific formula that started with Far Cry 3 and continued in the series since then. Ubisoft is partnering with Sony for exclusive content for the PS4 at launch, and probably for the lifetime of the game, actually.
Yeah.
And the game is set to come out February 27th of next year, so a little later than I was hoping. I was actually hoping that would be a fall game.
Yeah.
But this is around, if I'm not mistaken, they did March for Far Cry Primal, and it performed really well.
Dang, did they?
Mm-hmm.
Was it this March that it came out? Or last March?
No, last March. I'm sorry.
Last March? Okay.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Okay, I was going to say that. You know, I wasn't going to be upset if it was a Western game. I knew you would. But I thought...
Not upset. I just wouldn't have been really stoked on it.
I'm stoked
and to me,
for this.
To me, this is a great in-between. This is
kind of like
getting into America, and it's got that Western-y feel of like the kind of people you'd expect to see, but it's more modern. And I actually am loving the whole religious cult aspect of it, because that's a cool, controversial thing to talk about in the game. And I think that you may see for the first time, because Pagan Min was crazy, but he didn't have the craziness that I liked about Voss in 3. Yeah. I know you didn't really play 3, but Voss was definitely the best part of it.
No, I did play 3. I didn't play 4.
I thought you didn't beat 3, though.
No, I didn't beat it, but I did see Voss.
Okay. Well, Voss was like the best part of it. And why he wasn't the final boss is the weirdest thing to me. But that game is still amazing. So, and hopefully, if this game is as good as it looks in the trailer so far, it'll oust 3 as my favorite.
And I'll say the funny thing is if you ever come down here and hang out with us, we could take you probably not even 20 miles away and find a setting very similar to this game. But
yeah, we live in Arkansas. Arkansas, Texas. But
yeah, I love the like the evil kind of religion aesthetic of the game. If there's a movie called Red State, I highly recommend it. Yes,
and it's kind of coming off the trails of Outlast 2 being about a religious cult.
Yeah,
is interesting too. Yeah. So it's a hot topic in games at the moment.
So I'm super excited.
All right, next up, most important piece of news on this list: the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I know that you feel probably different than I do,
but I do enjoy it.
The Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy has finally shown gameplay from the last game in the trilogy, Crash Bandicoot Warped. They showed off the medieval-themed level Double Header, the racing chops of Orange Asphalt. Yeah, Orange Asphalt. The motorcycle racing level of infamy.
Yeah, that game level's fucking...
Dude, that game had so many vehicle levels. But I loved them, so I'm not complaining. They were like a change of pace. And lastly, they showed off the future-based level called Gone Tomorrow. The Insane Trilogy launches June 30th. I can't wait. And actually, they showed off one more thing on the Sony page. It was Tomb Waiter, which is like a Egyptian tomb level, and water rises and goes up and down. It's a really cool level. It's a cool level. I love that level.
What game was that in? Was that in Warped?
Yeah. They technically showed 4 levels today.
I was thinking that was in 2.
No, Tomb Raider was in 3 because 3 bounced between time periods because it had the every section was based around one boss and you'd beat the 5 levels and then beat a boss. And technically the whole game, all the games kind of had, or at least 2 and 3 had that kind of going for them.
Yeah,
but it was like
similar.
time specific instead of, because like 2 was themed differently, but it was like jungle theme, ice theme, like it was all nature. Whereas this one was like, hey, we're gonna go back in time, we're gonna go forward and future, so it's cool.
Makes sense.
All right, next up, Days Gone will apparently be at E3 in a big way, according to lead actor Sam Witmer. During a Twitch stream, he teased that the game will in fact be at E3 and in a big way, but did not divulge any further information. That is not a surprise. I still think that this game could come out this year, but I also think it may come out around the Far Cry time, which would be weird because they're both open world games set in America, which is kind of,
Well, and I also think that we learned with God of War to very, very loosely follow what the voices and he's a model in the game too.
That's true.
Because I'm excited for Days Gone.
But you have to imagine he knows because he's finishing up his work or whatever.
Wasn't there some other news with Days Gone this week or last week that there was something about the game revealed? I can't think of what it was.
No,
but it actually.
Not that I remember.
I remember reading something about it. Maybe it was a feature I didn't know was in it, but it made me excited.
All right, next up, Rockstar have announced that Red Dead Redemption 2 is being delayed to spring 2018. Not surprising at all.
Yeah.
The news comes courtesy of an article on the developer's website where they state, "We are very sorry for any." Oh, this is a quote. "We are very sorry for any disappointment this delay causes, but we are firm believers in delivering a game only when it is ready. We are really excited to bring you more details about the game this summer." The article also included a whole lot of new screenshots that looked really good. Red Dead is not my game, so I don't care.
Fantastic.
But I think in terms of graphical and like art style, the screenshots look really good.
And I'm really, really glad that Ubisoft went with a Deep South kind of thing for Far Cry, because if that came out around the same window, that would do.
When they were talking about it being a Western, I was like, man.
Anything Western.
Well, we'll see, because I kind of don't think Red Dead's going to hit spring. I think it ends up being a fall game next year.
If it does, I don't think I'd be that mad. Because
then again, Red Dead can come out literally any time, and I don't mean from a they could surprise us. I mean that game is one of those games where it can come out in the dead of summer or up against a million other big games, and it'll still perform just as well as it was ever going to, because Rockstar's got that pull with their fans.
Yeah, they got quality.
So, all right, next thing up, survival horror game Get Even has been delayed. Publisher Bandai Namco has chosen to push the release of the game, which was supposed to be this week on the 26th, so today, Friday, in the wake of this week's terrorist attack in Manchester. A representative with the company put out a statement saying, quote, "Given recent events and out of respect, we have decided to postpone the commercial release of Get Even to June 23rd. We would like to express our deepest condolences to everyone concerned." So that's about a month delay. I think that this is a fine integrity move. And I think that it'll help the game. So from a business position, it's smart. But I also think that, from a human PR perspective, it was really nice of them to not worry about it. Because the game probably still would have done fine anyway.
Yeah.
But it definitely would have thrown... With this happening, it would have thrown a lot of people's eyes up and be like, wait a minute. So... The game looks super good, though. I've been excited for it since they announced it 2 years ago.
I didn't. I forgot what it was until I just looked into it. And I do remember it.
Yeah, hyper-realistic trailer where they're running through. Yeah, like they did 3D scanning for the maps and stuff.
I always thought that was pretty cool. I like
really
that
good.
game.
So, let's see. Next thing up is, and this is kind of cool because I like this game, but I didn't play a lot of it. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, Capcom's last-gen RPG, will be coming to PS4, and this is actually after coming to PC last year.
Yeah.
So the game released last year on PC. It's likely that this is a port of the PC edition that will include some graphical tweaks and improvements over the PS3 version of the game. It is set to release this fall for next-gen consoles.
I never played the Dragon's Dogma on PS3. I heard it had some pretty bad performance issues.
Well, the original did, but Dark Arisen came back out.
And they kind of fixed
it. And they added new areas, and they fixed some balancing issues and stuff.
I really wanted to play it, so I'm actually going to pick this up for certain.
Yeah, it's a cool game. It's kind of like a Dark Souls vibe to it, but it's also got, you can carry around, allies and stuff, and you can build your ally, and then you can buy other people's to come with you. It's very odd. Anyway, next thing up, and this is something that me and Blaze are talking about because we're super excited about it. When we were at PSX, we saw this game, but Kickstarter game Plague Road will be releasing on PS Vita on June 6th. The game is a turn-based strategy game with roguelike gameplay mechanics that features a very, what in the hell? Oh, distinct typo. Anyway, a very distinct art style and a layered side-scrolling system. The PS4 version of the game will be coming slightly later, with director Luc Bernard stating that he wanted to release the Vita version as a show that the Vita version was always important from the get-go. Seeing as many games on the Vita are last on the list for a lot of developers, kind of like Axiom Verge came late, Salt Sanctuary came later to Vita, a lot later than they promised, and there was questions over support. So he wanted to do this to alleviate those concerns.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see a developer put such strong support in the handheld in that kind of way. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And you should look up the game. The art style looks really
cool.
cool.
Yeah, no, I've seen it, yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, dude,
I've
we
seen it
played
on
the game at
Vita
PSX.
subreddit.
Dude was super cool. I kept meaning to back it on Kickstarter and didn't get around to it before it closed, but I'm just going to pick it up now because it looks really cool.
Well, speaking of this article and the next, it was Risk of Rain. That Limited Run Games did. And I've always wanted to get that game, so it's good for them.
I think that we announced that last week, actually, or a week before. Anyway, physical release fans are in for a treat as Limited Run Games have announced that they will be bringing Double Fine's adventure game, Broken Age, to PS4 and PS Vita in limited physical release on June 9th. So put that on your calendars if you were interested in that game and like the Limited Run Games thing. So that's Tim Schafer's game. He makes all these great adventure games. So who knows? Maybe even see more. Day of the Tentacle Remastered, stuff like that. Who knows?
Yeah. Full throttles.
Next up on the list, it appears that Sony Santa Monica, God of War developer, might be developing a major PSVR title. Over on VR Focus, they report that an employee who wishes to remain anonymous told them that Santa Monica, this is quote, Santa Monica are working on something big. It's a full-blown second wave title for PlayStation VR. It'll be revealed soon, and I know it'll go well with the core PlayStation audience, but I can't say any more than that, end quote. So whether that means an E3 announcement or not is definitely up in the air, but possibly. So to lend a little to this report, I thought this was just interesting to add. Do you remember that back when they announced Project Morpheus, they were talking and apparently showed some people a prototype God of War VR experience that was based around God of War 2 or God of War 3? I can't remember. Where they pulled the camera into first person for Kratos, and when you move the move wands, you had the Blades of Chaos in your hand. So that doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be a God of War related VR experience.
That would be cool.
But the fact that they're working on Santa Monica is a great developer. So the fact that they're working on a VR title is really cool.
Good. I hope it is something that big.
Next up, and I never played this game, but I always thought the case looked really pretty. And it just looked like an interesting game. But El Shaddai creator Takayasu Sawaki has announced his next game for the PS4 and the PS Vita. The Lost Child will be a turn-based RPG featuring command-style battles, so not active time battle. The game will be connected to El Shaddai, and apparently development is around 90% complete. That's a really weird time to announce a game, but it's also really cool to see. A teaser trailer was launched with the news, but didn't offer much information. It's one of those weird, vague Japanese ones. So, next up on the list is Final Fantasy XV received patch 1.10 this week. The patch brings with it fixes for some timed quest crashes, a new recipe for Ignis to cook. So hopefully he'll discover...
Of course there is.
I've discovered a...
I'm on my deathbed. Now he discovers new recipes left and right.
I've got it.
I'm not surprised.
And brings the Behemoth Jacket DLC to the game. The jacket was previously part of the sale of a real-life jacket, but after this update should be free for everyone. Lastly, it includes a survey on the title screen asking about future updates that will last until the end of June.
It's such a weird Final Fantasy game. I don't think I like it. All the updates, all the
I
DLC
like it because it shows that Square is willing to change, and there's nothing wrong with them changing.
There's nothing wrong with them changing. It's just,
well, what I mean is that they're open,
weird...
so that means the next game may be even more different, but in a better or worse way.
It's a weird
I thought 15
change.
was a great game. I know me and you are on slightly different edges of that.
I just thought it was empty. Is all I really.
Yeah, the game is empty. I didn't think it needed an open world. It was fine that it was there, but maybe they learned from this one and make a better open world with the next one. We'll see. So next up is Horizon patch 1.21 went live this week. The patch aims to fix a number of progression issues, technical issues, and crashes. Not much more to talk about than that. There was a couple of issues with photo mode stuff that they fixed.
Yeah, I saw a couple of things like that. Some funny images.
Next up, according to BioWare writer Alexis Kennedy, a new Dragon Age game is in the works. In an interview with Eurogamer, Kennedy said, quote, "Notionally, it was a secret, but because of who I was working with, everyone who cared knew. And then the day I started, Mark Dara, who knows, executive producer of the Dragon Age franchise, tweeted saying, 'Welcome to the Dragon Age franchise.' So I thought, well, I guess it's official now then," end quote. No more info was given than that. But
I played Origins, but I didn't play the new one.
I played 2 a little bit. Origins was fun, but I got tired of it about probably 3/4 of the way through. Never beat it. 2 was way more fun, but way too much dialogue and dialogue that didn't matter, in my opinion.
Yeah. Inquisition has gotten real cheap lately, and I've been thinking about it.
I got it on PC.
It was $3.99
for free one day, and I was just no, I don't like the game. It looks beautiful for PC. Animations are just still janky.
I think it looks pretty good for PS4 too.
But you should look at the PC version; it'll blow your mind. It's pretty crazy. Animations still look janky as shit, but the environments are pretty. So last up, PlayStation Plus has announced they had PlayStation has announced that PlayStation Plus had 26.4 million paying subscribers at the end of fiscal year 2016. So that's March 31st of 2017.
Well, that's 200.
Out of over 70 million monthly active users. So that is up from the 20.8 they had at the end of last fiscal year. That's pretty good.
That is $260 million that they're making a year.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So.
My math is actually probably right. But that's a lot.
So that's all for news. How are we doing?
We're 30 in.
Okay, cool. I try not to spend too much time on it.
It's going to be short and sweet.
All right, so I guess the final thing to talk about in this particular episode is what we hinted at the beginning. I know you love the cup, don't you?
I do.
It's super fancy.
It is. Can I wash them in the dishwasher?
No.
Okay. So
Hold on. I say no because it's etched, and who knows?
If you win it, just don't do it in case.
Just hand wash.
Yeah.
Anyway. What we want to talk about is something I've always found really interesting, and I think I know some of the reasons why, and we'll get into that, I guess. But there always is that summer drought that kind of starts mid to late May and goes till around August.
September.
A lot of the time, August, September. So, from now it's like Injustice 2 and I guess Tekken 7 are kind of like the last real big games of this time period.
Yeah.
Up until, I consider June 30th, the Insane Trilogy, a great, a big game for that time period. But I think that there's a reason they did it during the summer drought. No competition on a remaster. They can really play up on nostalgia. People will choose it because there's nothing else. And I think it was a smart business decision to do it then. And I think that they can really get a good metric on whether or not people are really yearning for the series or not, which I think with all the hype around Insane Trilogy, people definitely they want it. And I hope that means we get more, or at least a Crash Team Racing complete remake like we see here. But there's always that summer drought. And, when you think about it, there's a lot of big events in summer. You have E3, and there's a lot of time booked around getting that ready. And I also think it's because the news is so full of other information and E3 predictions and E3 announcements. Right. And I think even Gamescom is in August, if I'm not mistaken. So there's like a good period of a lot of big announcements coming out. Even though you're starting to see people like Ubisoft pull back from that because they're announcing South Park's release date, South Park trailer, Far Cry release date, Far Cry trailer. They're announcing all that before E3, and my assumption is that after E3 they're going to end up doing just a full-on gameplay breakdown. But cool. I don't know. I think it's interesting that they're announcing this stuff. Yeah. I feel like these are E3 megatons that they're letting slip in their own way, but that's cool weird because I guess they control it. Yeah. And they know that like technically this week they're going to, for the most part, they're going to run the head of news. Far Cry 5 is probably the biggest thing from this week, an announcement-wise. Besides Red Dead. But Red Dead being delayed, it helps them. See, again, it's a balance. So, I mean, in my opinion, I think the summer drought would be a good time for games. Now, I think that sometimes it comes down to much like how Sony started releasing some of their exclusives in March, and then that seemed to become a big window for games. Like Wildlands came out. Obviously, the Switch came out. Zelda came out. So you're seeing a lot of games come out in this summer drought period. I'm sorry, not summer drought period, but in the early months where there'd be Sony's always had a good like Killzone released in like February of 2011. I want to say Little Big Planet 3 released somewhere around there, or Little Big Planet 2. I'm sorry, released somewhere around there. But there's a couple of games that released in that time window before. So Sony was good about it, but now it seems to be bigger than ever, and they're releasing their biggest games there. Like Horizon was a huge game, and I know they knew it was going to be big.
Horizon,
Nier was a huge game. Gravity Rush, not a huge game, but a game that was going to get people to buy it, at least in terms of the hardcore fans.
It was Neo, Horizon,
Neo. I think they knew was going to be the hit that it was going to be.
It was good for.
It was a great game.
Good chunk of the game, I thought.
It was a great game, but I mean, it's not for everybody, and I think it was definitely. It was like Dark Souls, but also very different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was more arcadey, but it was a good kind of little taste of Dark Souls that I hadn't gotten in a while.
Yeah. So, anyway, as far as the Summer Drought goes with stuff, though, in my mind, I feel like, would it be that other developers but other publishers would end up throwing their games into this window too, and that's why they're scared to do it, or is it that they purposely do it because of E3? And
kind of
past
wait
that,
for the
well,
big bombs.
yeah, and do they try and put games that they're not sure about in this window? But even then, you don't see that a lot, man.
Yeah, what was like the last big summer release besides Crash this year? There's nothing.
I can't think of a
You
single
got
notable
Destiny
title.
2, September 8th. And that's a little further. That's breaching fall.
That's when you're out of the Summer Drought,
Yeah.
typically, in that time window.
And see, do you welcome it? Do you like the Summer Drought?
I do for the backlog aspect.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like it.
Because it lets you play games that you've been waiting to play.
Yeah.
Which is a cool thing. But at the same time, I feel like, some kids who get to play games all the time, people who don't quite have the same responsibilities as an adult, like, I've always thought it was weird because I feel like kids are out of school. Why not hit that time? Or is it because they feel like they're going against vacations and stuff like that?
And I think that
and I mean like actual vacations, the kid's not going to be present to buy the game, to play the game.
Yeah, and luckily for us, and this kind of contributes to the cost of games, but we can buy a game on release. Kids, they don't always have that chance, so maybe this is a good time for them to pick up, Horizon or something they didn't get to pick up because they didn't have $60 and they had to do some lawn work, over the first couple weeks of summer, and then go pick up their game. To do some chores.
Yeah, and the hot neighbor next door had to look at you while you're out there mowing the yard. 17 and sweaty. Hey, you're legal. You're 17. You're legal in Texas.
We're in Arkansas. We're 3 steps away from Texas.
Yeah, we're right there. So all I gotta do is go mow the yard.
I was talking about go clean the dishes. Don't get arrested.
I'll clean her dishes. No,
you're gonna get arrested. That's what you're gonna do.
17's an adult, man. It's the age of consent in Texas.
But I think it is a great time for backlog. If you,
hey, I'm just kidding about the
I know
next door.
I know they should know because I know. But I think it's great for the backlog. I think that if you have never thought about trophy hunting, perfect time. So many games that you can go explore during this time of not having your head wrapped around
I
too
feel
much.
like another drought is that most of the time, all of December and a good chunk of January is a good similar drought period. But it's a good time but it's coming off of such big game releases typically that you don't notice it as much because you have so many games and Christmas comes and games that you didn't get at launch you've just got.
Yeah.
And that's another backlog time in my opinion.
Last year, it actually treated me right because I was playing a little bit of Advanced Warfare, but mainly Battlefield 1 and Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
They're out Christmas.
Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare?
Infinite Warfare.
Okay.
I should clarify that. Yeah, definitely not Advanced Warfare. But
and that game was good.
It was, but I'm saying not this year, not last year that I was playing it. But so for me, being a fan of Call of Duty and these shooters, these typically tend to come out in November-ish. Yeah. So those will last me until February, if not longer. Now, if Infinite Warfare was a better Call of Duty game multiplayer-wise, I'd probably still be playing it. Black Ops 3 lasted me
about a year.
Well over its cycle. Like, I played that game until Infinite Warfare came out.
That's a year.
No, was it? I guess you're right. It felt like there was something in between there.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, but it lasted me a while. And, I'm hoping World War II does that. And I'm hoping, a new Battlefield game comes out maybe next year that I can play. But, anyways, back to, the summer thing. Because we just got off on a tangent there. But I think that, it's great if there are games that you haven't played, or maybe you couldn't afford when they came out, and then you can go back and play them. And then when you have these games that if you're a trophy hunter, summer sales start happening. They got the PlayStation summer sales going on constantly, so you can pick up games like, Risk of Rain was like $14, I think, and that game looks pretty fun. It's like a 2D procedurally generated game, roguelike. And, I think that it's a great time for you to pick up on games you didn't get to play. And if you're one of those kind of gamers, though, that you gotta have the new game, and you've played all the games that have come out, and you've kind of exhausted yourself, it's a good time to recoup.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Do you think it is a bad idea to release games during that summer drought? Like, do you think it's a bad idea to start injecting a few titles?
I don't want... It's kind of like the same thing with, movie releases almost. You don't want too many summer blockbusters.
Well, yeah, and I don't mean flooding the market.
Yeah.
But what if they start injecting, one big game in June, one big game in July, one big game in August? And August, sometimes, to be fair, August hits that sometimes. Because there's a big game coming out in August of this year, and I can't, for the life of me, think of what it is right now.
Metal Gear Solid 5 was that, 2 years ago.
Oh, I consider it a big game. It's technically DLC, but it's not DLC. It's standalone, but Uncharted comes out in August. The Lost Legacy. And I think that's a pretty big game for that time period, and it's going to be a $40 game, so that's a pretty good experience. Yeah. They said somewhere around 10 hours.
And see, besides Crash, I wonder if there's any PS4 games that are releasing in June.
Well, I'm sure indie games use that time period. So maybe in terms of market is concerned, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe these small periods give these indie games. Excuse me. Damn, I keep burping. I think it gives these indie games room to breathe, maybe?
Yeah, and see, well, there's a weird thing, too, is that, like, kind of going, just looking through the list very quickly, it's like, this is also somewhat subjective per person because, they're going to be games that come out that people are really, really excited for.
Smart idea. And it may be what we're about to see. VR games. Put them up against less competition. Release VR games and shit like that.
Boy, does Final Fantasy 12 come out in July?
Oh, I think so. It's either July or August.
And see, that's a good title for me.
You notice it remasters. The big games for a lot of these people are remasters or remakes.
Let's see, going through here.
So look, Final Fantasy July 11th.
Yeah, very quickly for me, and this is I'm going through here. I see, wow,
not much.
That's less than the list for the drop for next week. That's like what, 12 games?
Well, yeah, but to be fair, that's not counting small digital releases that get very quick release dates. Like Oceanhorn got announced to be coming out and then literally released within a week.
Yeah,
so I mean, I don't know. I think that might be really what it is. I think it might be to give the industry and some of the smaller titles a chance to breathe. But I think it may be smart to start injecting VR titles and games that typically wouldn't perform as well against bigger titles. I'm not saying Farpoint did fine, and it came out at a good time. It came out the same day as The Surge and Injustice. These are games that do not.
Yeah, Injustice being a huge.
You know what I mean?
Title.
Like those
Surge being.
Yeah, and The Surge is it's a small budgeted title to be fair, but I mean these are games that have. I feel like the overlay for people whose majority are going to want it is not very big. Yeah,
and I'm trying to think what. I was trying to think of like almost a perfect kind of formula for a summer release just then. And I was like, maybe if they release VR titles kind of sprinkled throughout, May, June, July, and then in the middle have one kind of like Final Fantasy 12, have one good old RPG come out because shooters tend to be until November. So
yeah, that September November period.
Yeah, so
normally
it's kind of weird.
Heavy with shooters.
It's kind of weird to look at it from a formulaic kind of perspective because. Everything has its own place almost, except like.
Well, yeah, but then again, for the longest time, everything's place was at the same fucking time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything used to come out from September to December.
Yeah.
You had or not even December because they wanted it on market with enough
Christmas.
time for you to get it before Christmas. They wanted it to be presents. And if not, they want it to be games that you can get with your Christmas money and Christmas gift cards and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I mean, you're typically going to see the biggest of these releases September through the end of November.
Makes sense.
So you see so many games come out in that period, and that's where I think a lot of games actually do themselves their own damage. Like I feel like it's always been a bad idea, in my opinion. I think Sony's smart to move their games away from that period, and that's part of why I think. Like, do you start seeing exclusives from either Microsoft or Nintendo or something start to come out in that time period? Do you see Sony start to hey, we're going to use this 1 month that we don't see anything come out?
That sounds like February.
Well, yeah, but do you think they're going to do that with June? Maybe not June, but maybe July, because June is all about E3. They get to focus on that, release that. So then they go July. What's a high profile title that's not so high that you feel like it could do its own? Like, okay, for me, what are there like? Sly Cooper 5 comes out.
That's too high profile.
That's not too high profile.
I think it is.
No, man.
Well, maybe. Like I said, that's subjective. Of course.
Yeah, no, it's a great game, and I would love it. But speaking of sales and general market thing. Even if it does as well as Ratchet & Clank did, which surprised a lot of people, it's still not as big as you would think.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's what I meant by subjective, is that I would be super hyped for that game. But then
I would too, but I mean...
Two people...
It comes down to, you look at majority of market share, and games that are shooters and more broad appeal, which platformers have kind of slid out of. They're not necessarily broad appeal. And they are... But a lot of people,
they're still there.
A lot of people who play them though tend to play them, and I do to clarify. This is something that happened with the rise of the 3D platformer episode as well, where it's like I don't mean any game that has elements of 3D platforming in it. I do mean very character mascot driven 3D games like Mario, like Ratchet and Clank, like Sly Cooper. These are games that are very built around platforming, and they kind of have a deep lineage of platforming.
Right. And we were talking about
games like Yooka-Laylee that are new, but their lineage but they're very built off of something that was already done with Banjo-Kazooie, and they're taking that mascot style platform and they're doing something new with it, or trying. They're trying to bring the same formula to a modern day thing, but. I guess it's a separate topic, but if you used the Summer Drought to bring out games that market share isn't necessarily as big for, you could probably do extremely well. And I almost wonder, do me a favor since you got your computer still up, look up when Sly Cooper 4 came out. And I want to say that it was in like the latter part of the year. It may have been February. Okay, February. So, February came out. That seems like a good time to release it. And I'm sure back then there wasn't a lot of competition. So maybe it doesn't change anything. Maybe releasing those games with low market share, it's just they're hard to fight in the market regardless.
And see, I think that like for younger kids, I think that a lot of the indie titles that come out during the summertime could appeal to them because they're cheaper. And some of them.
Indie games definitely have come up in terms of general viewpoint.
Oh, yeah.
But there still is a very negative stigma around indie games.
Which I don't get, to be honest.
But I just wonder, because and that's probably another thing, is it gives time for these games to go on sale. But sales, the way that they do flash sales and stuff now too, they kind of just do that how they want to, when they want to.
Yeah, and well, you see, and this is something I'm guilty of, is that when you hear about PlayStation Plus games, and like, oh, it's all indie games, which I am guilty of saying that a lot, because I do feel like that some of them could be better.
Well, I feel like they've been doing better. I mean, like, bringing Severed. Yeah, Severed was indie game, but it's also a high-profile indie game.
Yeah.
But then you have stuff like Tales of the Borderlands came out. And then what was the other one? What was the other game this month? Because I didn't care for it.
This month?
Yeah. Because it was Tales of the Borderlands.
I know we covered it.
Alienation was one of them. Oh. But that wasn't here. It was overseas.
It was the...
But regardless, you know what I mean. It's like...
Yeah, because that's going to bug me. Because it's the...
I don't remember the fuck I'm talking about now. But, really, it's just to say that with all this stuff going on around the E3 months, would it hurt to release something?
Abzu.
Abzu, that's right. Yeah, I should have known. So, and Abzu was a pretty high profile. You fucking laggy computer.
That's terrible.
Abzu was a kind of high-profile indie. It was trying to ride the Journey hype train,
Tried, yeah. I didn't enjoy it that much.
No, I don't know. I feel like we've kind of run this topic the course of what I think naturally fits it.
Yeah.
I still think it may be a good idea to release games in this time period, but maybe people who are a little more in the industry and know the way the market changes, and the way and maybe they know definitely with the way that media tries to put stuff in the limelight. It's kind of like how on Steam, when you release your game, you want it to be featured. PSN, you want it to be featured because it gives you that much more of a chance of succeeding. So maybe that's what it's about. You get buried in the news of the summer.
Yeah.
And the summer is a lot about, hey, let's take a breath from new games. Let's talk about the games that are going to be new down the road.
Yeah. And see,
and that's announcements and games that you've been excited for. So.
And if you always have negative thoughts about it, I always think of it as going into a mindset of like, you think of the next couple months, you're like, there's nothing to play. Look back at the past couple months and be like, well, what haven't I played? And then play the games that you missed out on in these next couple months and then kind of recoup, recharge your batteries, because if you play games every day, take this from a 26-year-old dude, you're going to get tired of them. And now I've been in that little drought for a while now where I kind of start a game and I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like,
yeah.
And then that's why I played so much Zelda lately, is because I can sit there while I'm watching Netflix, playing on my Switch, and then, playing on my Vita a little bit of some Persona 4, and I can sit there and play it while, But, it's just kind of these things like where it's not always bad. You can recharge your batteries. Look at the past couple months instead of the next couple months and be like, well, what haven't I played? And, if you never tried trophy hunting, I think this is a good time to try trophy hunting, of course. Summer sales.
I think that's an interesting mindset, because in my attention, when I kind of thought about this topic, I was thinking like, why are there no games coming? Besides, and don't get me wrong, I'm super excited that Crash is coming. That's a big deal.
And see, I'm also thinking.
But how many times can you remember in the past where something that exciting to you came out in a summer month? And that's what I mean. And I don't, like
it's been a long time.
That
Overwatch.
Late May thing. So yeah,
I didn't pick up Overwatch on release, but I did see that came out in May, and I thought that was interesting.
And see, that's what I mean. You have that border,
where
it's kind of late May, late May to late August is typically your buffer. Of not a lot. So I don't know. I think that's a reasonable viewpoint, is to look back on the things that you haven't had a chance to play, or at the same point, maybe give yourself the break that you need.
Yeah,
you know?
just relax. Don't play
and
games.
relax and look at other games that you know you'll be playing in the coming months that are going to come out, like the games that come out in the that fall holiday.
You got Destiny,
segment,
Call of Duty. You got all these other games that are going to be coming out. Then you got E3, which I think a little bit has to do with E3. They don't want to release a game and then people will forget about said release game when they see something.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's you're buried.
Yeah, so
you're buried with so much information that's coming around. So I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So I'll say we'll end it right there.
Yeah, I think we got enough out without.
Do me a favor, because I forgot to check it. Run into the email and make sure we don't have anything. But like I said, as far as the giveaway is concerned, we are going to cut this part of the video and go ahead and put it up for Friday. But in case you just see this or hear about this on Monday, you do have from Monday to Wednesday at 12 a.m. So I guess 11:59 p.m. To enter for this. And I mean, there's ways to get multiple entries, like sharing with your friends, and if they end up clicking on it and coming into it as well, then you get extra stuff. And yeah, of course, this is great to spread the word and get our channel maybe a little bit bigger, maybe more views. Who knows? This is all for fun. I just thought this was a cool way to say thank you to the people who have already given us their time. And there are people who interact with us on Twitter, like RJ Loki. Real cool dude.
Shout out to that dude.
Yeah, he's always cool. And then we have Four Face Delta's a cool dude. Met him on Reddit. He's cool. He bounces stuff off of us. So for the people who do interact within this, I want to personally thank you, and that this is part of the way of doing that. Obviously, I can't give everybody a cup in a game because I'm not made of millions of dollars, and we don't even have a budget for this show. This is just out of pocket stuff.
Yeah, and we ain't got no fan mail, so y'all are slacking. Actually, you know what?
Send me $1 million in a duffel bag.
RJ Loki.
We'll put our business address. I'm kidding. We don't have a business address.
We sure don't. I'll say, RJ Loki, you're gonna be listening. Send us something on Twitter and let us know. Send us just something that you want to know. We'll address it in the next episode if you do.
Okay. We'll call that.
We'll call you out.
We'll call fan service.
You're one of our. Which
next episode's going to be interesting anyway. It's not going to be a normal topic. It's going to be a little more personal. It's going to be about us, but I'm just going to wait. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah. Because this surprise I do know about. It's more of a surprise of a production value than anything.
Well, that and then the topic.
I don't even know what that could be. We haven't even talked about that, have we? Or is this something you know that I don't know again?
No, you know this one. The topic for next week.
Oh, I do. Okay.
You jackass.
Yeah. I was sitting there thinking like the general. Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, I guess that is all for this episode. This looks like it's a little bit of a shorter one. So that's interesting.
Probably about 10 minutes shorter than normal. Yeah. 10 minutes. We try to keep it at an hour, but we don't hit that mark. It's just.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, you let it in when it ends naturally.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
A little more shorter and a little bit more sweeter, like me.
Which part of your body are you talking about?
The whole thing.
All right. Well, until next week, thank you for watching, listening. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you like what we're doing here, subscribe to us. If you are listening to us on podcast services, follow us or give us a review. You don't know how much it actually helps us. It really lets us know that what we're doing is in line with what y'all want to do. And it's nice when what we want to do and what y'all want kind of line up.
And this is 100% for fun. So we have no monetary gain to this. So we want you guys to be honest, because this is something we just do because we want to. Yeah,
and I mean, we're definitely up for general ideas, because you never know. Sometimes people throw ideas at you and they go, oh crap, that's a great idea.
Yep.
And you stick. So until next week's episode, this is Triangle Squared, or has been Triangle Squared.
Thank you guys.